What's up, baby? What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and countrymen? Welcome back to TrailBlazerz Radio. I am your host, Mr. Frederick B. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to us. You guys could have been anywhere else, but you guys are right here with us, and we most definitely appreciate that. So we thank you so very much for that. Got a special guest in the building with me today, and we're gonna get to him in just a second. But before we do that, we are going. I do have a couple of announcements that I do want to make. So please, first and foremost, I want to thank you guys so very much for following us on our social media platforms, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Also, our new podcast page. Thank you guys so very much for following us and sharing our page with us, sharing our platform with us. We're very much appreciative of that, and we thank you guys so very much for that. Continue to follow each and every one of the hosts on their respective social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's TikTok, or whether it's whatever. Just continue to follow each and every one of our respective hosts on their respective social media platforms, as well as thank continue supporting us on our respective social media platforms as well. Got a Patreon page that's coming out soon. More info on that as it becomes available, as the Patreon page completes. And we got some great content that's coming down your way. So make sure you guys keep your eyes and your ears open for that. Um, and once again, we thank you guys so very much for tuning in with us, man. We all most definitely want to give a shout out to God, because without Him, this does not happen. None of this happens. None of this happens. None of this happens. None of this happens. This particular episode is proudly presented by My Life Has Destiny. My beautiful sister Quint Jones is podcast and her personal platform. It's also sponsored by some really really good friends at Television Productions, and they have an upcoming movie project called Cry Wolf, and we're as we get it later on into the program and the show, where I'm going to actually show that particular promo video. But for right now, let's jump into it and talk with our guest of the hour right now. This gentleman right here, met this gentleman I won't even say a few weeks ago. I'll say several months ago. Um, my a good friend of mine, Traz Tiller, was doing was had a birthday party, and well, I won't say a birthday. It was a birthday party slash mini concert, so to speak. And I met this young bro. I met this talented brother right here. We were talking, chopping it up, and just I was just amazed, just listening to his talent, and just the way that him and Traz and Mika worked in synergy with with the projects that they've done. And it was just a natural to bring this gentleman onto the platform, man, just to talk about his music, his beginnings in music, what he's got going on, and also what he has planned. So, man, I don't need to get this guy an introduction, man, but I'm gonna do the best that I can to introduce this guy, man. So I want to introduce to you guys singer, songwriter, studio vocalist, publisher, producer, whatever you want. Any title you want to give this man, he's probably got it. My brother, Mr. Dereck McCuller. How are you, man?
Man, I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. Thanks, man. What a wonderful intro and a great opportunity, bro.
Man, always, man. First of all, you honor me with your presence, and you know, being able to, want to have a conversation with me about about your music, and just kind of getting the word out there about your music and stuff like that. So you honor me with your presence, and also your availability, but and also your enthusiasm for what you do, man. So I appreciate that so very much. So let's talk about Mr. Dereck McCuller, the artist. We're gonna talk about Dereck McCuller, the artist, then we're gonna talk about Dereck McCuller, the person. But I want to know, I want to know who the artist is. How'd you get your start? How'd you get your start in music?
Oh man. I mean, around the age of 5 or 6, man, I discovered my love for music, and my family encouraged me to sing a little bit. Now, honestly, I didn't pursue music, not even in my young adult life. I played with it, but I didn't pursue it.
So
But
you play with the idea of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I would occasionally I was in a group and I was singing, if it was school or if it was church, some stuff I would do. But, I wasn't really confident that I had anything special going on. So it was just like something I could do.
So you
And
kind of looked at it as a talent, as kind of like a hobby, and not nothing that you
yeah,
wanted to kind of do on a full, like on a permanent basis.
definitely. I mean, in my dreams, secretly, I thought that maybe it would be wonderful to do it, but I didn't think I could or would. I didn't see that happening.
Oh, so you kind of just said, "Hey, I'm just gonna do this kind of like in my spare time," but also, but in your dreams, you see it, you saw yourself on a big stage and with a lot of with fans and stuff like that, just cheering you on. But in reality, you was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna do this, right? We're not gonna do this."
Right, 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 right. I'll reserve it to I'll sing in church and do birthday parties, whatever, just small stuff. I'm not trying to be famous and all that stuff. Um, but we always have our plan, and then God has His plan. You know.
Indeed, indeed, and sometimes that is a course, and sometimes his plan is an actual course correct.
Yes, exactly. Yes, sir.
So, what did you where as you were growing up as a kid and as a teenager, did you become more serious about music, or was it still kind of like a hobby?
Well, I did to a certain extent, but I played instruments. Um, I played all of the band instruments. Actually, in high school, I was a drum major. So my love never left, but like I said, singing was just something I knew I could do a little bit better than average, but not nothing I thought was special or worth letting anybody hear beyond, covering somebody's song or doing something. I
Uh,
just didn't see it.
was it like the confidence in your voice, or was it just kind of like the not wanting to be in front of a lot of people?
Well, it was a little bit of both. My voice in my voice, I really didn't have a voice at the time, Fred. See, that was the thing. I was great at mimicking. I could cover almost anything
Right.
in a wide range. So I didn't have my own voice. So, I didn't know the scope of what I was able to do. I just didn't know. As far as being in front of people, I mean, I like to make people laugh and happy and all that stuff. I wasn't actually I'm not afraid of being in crowds, but it just was not my thing. I actually tried my hardest to stay in the back for most most of the time. I just, wanted to help make everything okay and stay in the back. So
See, you a lot. I see we already a lot alike at this particular juncture,
yeah,
because I would prefer to be in the background. Unfortunately, I'm in the forefront of a lot of stuff, and I'm like, this is an uncomfortable place to be. I don't want to be here. Can I go back to the back, please?
yeah.
I mean, and you said, like you said, you did a lot of covers for like a lot of songs and stuff like that. You know, did you ever kind of felt that you could develop your voice by doing covers, or was that something that happened gradually over time?
Well, that hit me late, really. That if you could cover, then there must be a you in there somewhere. So, you may be able to find something special. And I had been, being told, hey man, that's not regular. I'm thinking, well, it's regular to me. I've been doing it since I was 5. So, it's no big deal, but thanks. But I didn't
Exactly.
take anything from it until later, much later. Um,
You just being
and
modest.
yeah, yeah, I guess so. I suppose.
I would say
Yeah,
so. I mean, because it's something that you've been doing regularly since, like I said, since 5 years old, and people just give you compliments. You're like, you kind of shrug those off and be like, yeah, yeah, okay, this is I've been doing this forever for a while now. I mean, why everybody giving me kudos right now?
right, right.
So, so when did the seriousness come about?
Man, let me tell you something. The seriousness was birthed from my walk with Christ, man. I was singing in church and I was happy singing in the back. Like I said, I was happy. Um in my opportunities to teach and help perfect a certain sound. That was my area.
Right.
And funny thing is, man, I like I said, I ran from that front for a long time, and God did a very interesting thing to me. When I began. to hone in on my relationship with him, he began to communicate with me in a very particular way. And so he knew that even though I had recognized his voice, that I wasn't listening. So he used the very thing uh, that I played with the most to get my attention. So he began to give me songs,
Ah,
and he began to develop uh, interest in me that I didn't know I had. So, long story short, man, I ended up with a gospel group. I formed a group called PAW, which was pure authentic worship. And it wasn't something I was trying to do, or anything. It just kind of happened.
just dropped in your lap.
Just kind of dropped in my lap. I knew so many people who could sing, had a desire to praise and worship. And honestly, that's my comfortable place, man. Worship is my comfortable place. So when I'm having an issue or going through something or just need something, I go into a full blown worship. I don't care who's there, what's happening. That's where I get my answers, because that's where he answers me in music. So
Man,
that's
I
yeah.
love that. I like that. And now that you got serious, now that you became to be a little, I won't say a little, but a lot more serious about it, through your relationship with Christ and with God, and also how God spoke to you in a way, in a form, in I won't say in an unusual form, because God speaks to everybody in a form that we personally can understand,
Yeah.
whether it's through song, whether it's through like spoken word, or whether it's through something else, sights or sounds, or maybe just objects. So once you got that voice from God, and and the motivation to do it, you know, the one thing that I've always wanted to ask, especially I've asked this of, you know, secular singers and artists, such as and rappers and MCs, but I never asked this of a Christian artist, because to me, I would think the answer would be the same. However, it would also be also much more dissimilar. So, as an artist who does mostly praise and worship music, and mostly in that, you're primarily in that gospel Christian vein, you know, for you, because you said you're a worshiper. How important is it for you to be tuned in to God's word, or tuned into what God is saying to you, as you enter that realm of worship, or as you enter that realm of praise?
Man, it's it's of the utmost importance. Like, for me, there's no purpose for doing it if I'm not connected, if I'm not in his presence, because that's the whole point of it for me. uh you know Lots of people go forth in the genre of praise and worship, but not necessarily in the vein of praise and worship. you know
Ooh.
they they uh they have learned to perform praise and worship. Now, me personally, I have a whole different diaspora, because honestly, if you would bring me to church, I could lead praise and worship when it was an obligation for me to do that,
Uh-huh.
or when a need I did it, but that's not my place. You understand what I'm saying? For
Got
me,
you. Got you.
praise and worship started to become a routine. You get the songs together and you practice and you rehearse. I'm a free worshiper. I'm the kind of person that can go into the atmosphere with a band or a musician, or just silence, and start to worship from my heart. And it's based on what God is doing with me and talking to me about and telling me at that time.
Ooh, big difference. Big difference. And you hit the nail on the head, honestly speaking. And I know a lot of people who are listening right now, or who are gonna be listening right now, are gonna they may want to disagree with that, but I will agree with that wholeheartedly, because, like you said, there's a difference between it's a difference between performance and actual praise and worship. A lot of and a lot of people will say, well, there's no difference to the trained eye, but someone who sees it, and
Yeah.
who's performed it, they'll be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Because you could tell I don't know, you could tell a performance from a actual per- praise and worship. I don't even call praise and worship a performance, honestly speaking, because there are some people who would equate that to a performance.
Right.
I don't see it as a performance. I see it as someone who has actually got into the vein of hearing God's word, and hearing what He is saying to him or her, and they're singing from their heart, not from memorized words, but truly
Exactly.
from their heart.
Exactly. And man, those, you know, I'm just not that guy. I don't choose to present my argument to anybody. That, to each his own. I just know for sure that I hear from God, what I hear from God, and I'm constantly learning what to do when I hear something. So that brings um that puts me in a box of to be different, because I'm not moving unless He says to move.
Oh yeah.
Uh, i.e., the such a long drawn out release for the song. Bro, this song is old. It's been through phases and everything. And my wife, my close friends, even our dear friends, the Tillers, who helped me actually bring the song to fruition on this level, urged me to, they would check in. Hey man, what's going on with the song? The song has been finished for over a year in this form. But I have to hear from God before I move. Not my wife, not my friends, not my pastor, not anybody else. If God does not tell me to move, I do not move. Period.
I
Now I'm
feel
not
you.
perfect, but I do try to be obedient.
Oh yeah, most we that's something that I think that we all are most definitely make an effort to do, is try to be obedient to God's word. I mean, and even I know once people hear this song, there'll be gonna be some people like, why did it take so long for this song to come out, or why did it take so long for this song to be, put out there? The answer that I will give is like, he released it when God said it was time to be released. You
Exactly.
don't let go something. If God puts something on your heart, and put something on your heartstrings and in your soul, and He wants you to perfect that thing, or make that thing the best thing that it can be. You're not It's not going to be released until it's time to be released. You
Mhm.
know, I what comes to mind is, like, I think it's a it's a wine commercial, and it's so long ago, and that phrase just came to my mind. We don't produce no wine until it's time. I'm like, what? And that blew my mind when you said that. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
man.
things saying like things like good songs, and they're like a fine wine, or like a per or a carefully aged, cask of bourbon or something. It takes time.
Exactly. And the thing is, man, a lot of people will judge one way or the other. Some people think that I was holding on to the song trying to make it perfect. And then some people will say, why it take so long? It ain't all that good. Both,
Wow.
both, both perspectives are fine with me. Um, but this is the thing, and both of them may be correct, because at some point I was saying, "Oh, okay, I'm on to something here." Uh, Taking it in this direction, because, like I said, the song was born as a choir song with my group,
Right.
and so for me to adapt it into a solo song was extremely hard. I love singing with people.
Right.
It's not that I'm afraid to sing by myself. I love to sing with people. So that adaptation was a long stretch for me to be out there by myself, you know,
Right.
and finally, but but what I also heard from God in the end of the process was, don't try to make it perfect in yourself. This is one of those things that I'll do. I'll make it perfect for the one who needs to hear it, for the time it needs to be heard.
There
Not
you
perfect
go.
musically. That's not even important.
There you go.
Just go when I say go, and I got the rest.
Oh, man. Oh,
Man,
look at
listen,
here. Look at
listen,
here, man. You better say
I'm
that, bro. You better say that, boss. You better say
one
that.
one morning, man. I was praying on my way to work, and my I always end my prayer saying, "God, meet me where you know at my place of need." Bro, he hit me back so quick and so hard. He said, "Hey, I just want you to remember this. First of all, I hear you. I do answer prayers. But check this out. I'm an omnipresent God. That means I'm everywhere all the time, right?" He said, "So, bro, it's not hard for me to meet you anywhere." He said, "But this is the thing. I can't meet you anywhere if you don't go anywhere."
Ooh.
I was like, oh.
Oh my goodness.
He was like, "So don't keep asking me to do something and you ain't moving.
Oh my goodness.
You
Oh
want
my
to
goodness.
move, you want to make me move, then you move."
Let me Oh my gosh. Look here. Look here. I'm just gonna repeat that so everybody can hear that. Look, if you everybody you if you're praying asking for God to meet you somewhere, meet you at your place of need, you gonna have to go somewhere in order to be met. Because it's not like it's a not like it's a halfway thing. It is a halfway thing, but you gonna have to meet at at a particular point
Yes.
to for your for whatever need or whatever request or whatever desire of your heart. Do you want to have that met or that respected or even looked at? Because yeah, that's that, bro. That is like extremely powerful for to even say something like that. You know. Now I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know right now. I might have to steal that.
Hey, man. Hey, whatever God gives me is for everybody. So hey, you do what you must, bro. I don't got no problem with that.
Because that is like, I'm, and it's funny that you say that because a lot of us don't look at it that way. We look at it from the opposite end of the spectrum. Okay, well, I'm gonna stand right here until God comes around. Well, you might be standing there for a while.
Man, listen. Listen. You know what I say, man, it's a lot of people. The word says that God will open up a window and pour out blessings in abundance that you can't even handle it. But check this out, bro. God is forever pouring out. Some folks just ain't standing under the window, Fred. He didn't say stand in the driveway. He didn't say stand in the doorway. He said stand under the window. So I live my life looking for the window, bro. That's why I'm always looking up. You see my pictures. I'm looking up. When I'm singing, I'm looking up. Not only because the word says look towards the hills from which cometh your help, but because I'm looking for that window.
Where the window at? Where
Where
is
the
that?
window at? Where the window at?
Oh, it's right there. Okay, let me look up.
Right. Let me stand
Wow.
right here. So yeah, man.
Wow. Whew. So 2 nuggets, ladies and gentlemen, 2 of them. Just so y'all know. I'm keeping an active count.
Wow.
Man. So I mean it's and again, like it's so crazy that we're taught that we taught these things, but then we don't actually act upon it.
Hmm.
You know, I've always heard, you know, the Great Commission for to go out and speak to the people, and I'm paraphrasing
Okay.
because I don't know the scriptures, so I'm paraphrasing. So it's like, go out to the people and reach and teach everybody, and that's the Great Commission. And but people look at it, they don't actually do it the way they've been taught, way it's actually been taught. I mean,
Hey man, listen. The ironic thing about that is this. Okay, the Great Commission says to go out highways, byways, and teach everybody, right?
right?
But why is there such a huge push in the body of Christ to get in church buildings when the commission said to go out?
I never understood the desire for that.
I mean, there is a place for that. I believe, and I'm not talking about nobody else, but I believe that the church's purpose is to to fuel you up. It's a fueling station. You go and get what you need. You fellowship with each other. You get the word. You get the power. You get the strength. You get the prayer, and then you go out as the commission says. But we
Right.
concentrate so much of staying in the building and practicing the routine of religion instead of the routine of relationship that we get stuck in a business more so
Yeah.
than a ministry. So now we're doing church perfectly, but we're
But we're
still
not
not in
doing
the will of God.
but and we're doing relationship horribly.
We doing relationship horribly. But this pandemic, sir, has proven to fix some of that, because I know for me, man, even though I didn't grow up in the church, let's be clear, I grew up in the streets, man, and honestly, so I think it a privilege at some point to not I didn't have to unlearn church per se.
Right.
I did have to, however, be mindfully cautious at learning religion and its perspective place.
Got you. Got you.
So, so I'm not, I'm not the church baby, pew baby, and so a lot of things that was happening in my baby spirit, I knew that they were not quite the fulfillment of God. I didn't say, I'm not saying they weren't accurate or right, but they were not the full fulfillment of God according to the word I was learning and the spirit that I was hearing.
Got you. Yeah. And for saying for a lot of us, that is a huge difference between what you're taught as opposed. I won't even say as opposed as comparative to what you hear when God speaks to us, when God talks to us. Like, wait a minute, is that right? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Right.
Or
Or
and
is
then
that
you
the whole thing?
yeah, exactly. I mean, then you scratch you scratching your head and like what and then my question was always what part of this am I missing?
Right. Right.
What's not connecting?
Yeah. Because like it's like a feeling that either there's more or there's this ain't the whole, it's wrong.
Exactly. This
Either
ain't
this
the whole
wrong or there's
story.
more to it. It's not this ain't right.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, I
I
get it, man.
I feel you on that though. I do because like you said, we the the four walls theory works all the time for those people who embrace that,
Oh yeah.
or who want to be involved with that.
Right.
And I'm not, and what I'm saying is not to down anybody in religion or anything of that nature. That's
Right.
not what I'm saying, because if that's what you want to do, then that's cool. You do that. But at the end of the day, and my brother my brother so eloquently put it, and I'm only paraphrasing, that the four walls theory, we gotta tear that down. We have to tear that down because to me, and I don't know if you may agree with this or not, but to me that the four walls theory, and that's what I call it, because or the building is a to me is a stronghold.
Oh, wait a minute. Whew, that's heavy. And bro, I can see that perspective. And I have to say that, largely in part, I do agree with that. It's sometimes the building, man, the building is a crutch and it's a hiding place
Yeah,
for people who want to satisfy that commitment they were taught that they were supposed to have. Like,
yeah,
I go to church every Sunday and I'll be on this board and serve on that committee and do this right here to satisfy my quota, my save quota. But on Saturday, I'm doing what I want to do Monday through Friday. I'm not thinking about it either way.
yeah. For the show Saturday, I'm finna act a purity.
Right. And I repent for it on Sunday morning when I get back to my pew.
Exactly. I
And
mean, and
so,
people
yeah,
don't understand that that's a lifestyle.
we got a work to do, man. Like I said, I'm not perfect. Uh, but as a minister of the gospel, man, I think that I have a charge to present the gospel just like it says, man, to rightly divide the word of truth, not to put my spin or my opinion on it. And so that's where I get my criticism, because I'm not charismatic. I don't paraphrase. Um, and I meet people at a practical place. I don't beat people over the head with the Bible or Jesus. I try my very best to subtly, just like Jesus, show them the Holy Spirit.
Oh yeah, most
And
definitely. I
I ain't,
mean,
and I ain't trying to be perfect because I'm far from it.
far from.
But I know that there's a purpose for me, and my purpose is in Him. So, and that's all that's important for me.
Exactly, exactly. And it over and I see where you're coming from. You just you're more of a you're a humble person, and it can, and you realize that it don't require hard preaching to tell somebody about God or about Jesus. It don't
Mm-mm.
require none of that.
Especially in this generation, man. The, the now people don't care what you say anyway, because they have heard it all, or you can hear it on YouTube or Facebook. You can hear anything you want to hear. What's important is what they see you being and see you doing. That is what is going to draw. And so the word of God says He will draw all men. It don't say you.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people are drawn to more people who are more demonstrative anyway, people who actually do rather than say. I mean, because
Exactly,
you can say you're a believer, you're a follower of Christ, but is your lifestyle, is your actions, do they equate to what you just said?
man. Come on, bro. That is such a heavy thing on me. I got a couple of songs that address those issues. And I'm probably gonna get kicked out of Christendom when I when I drop them, but
Man, look here.
I'm going to drop them, and I will defend the fact that I love and trust Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yahuwah, whoever you call him. I
Exactly.
believe it and Him, and so that's enough for me. That's enough.
You know what though? You bring up an interesting point though. And I really just kind of want to walk back just a tad bit on what you said. You know, being kicked out of Christendom for for dropping songs or saying something that goes against
What we're
popular
taught.
opinion.
Yeah.
What what is and this for me, this is a it's a funny question. And I've always wanted to ask it, but at the same time I was like, well, maybe I might not. I've always wanted to ask it, but I was always in front of the wrong people to ask.
Wow.
And people say you know you get kicked when you say get kicked out of Christian. First of all, I started laughing. Number one, like how you gonna get kicked out of Christian? What who and what go authorize that? I mean,
Man.
and but the funny thing about it is you bring up you bring up a very valid point, and it just came to my mind that when that and this is unfortunate that you know being a Christian now is dependent upon who you know, who
Oh.
you don't know,
Whoa.
who you associate yourself with, who you are in league with.
Wow.
I'm like, and I'm like, well, I ain't in league with nobody. I'm in league with God. Does that, dude? That should be the biggest parameter right there.
Right. Right. Should be. But man, we're just not being honest. We are not being honest. There's so many people who have taken being a Christian to a whole another level, to the point where they exceed, you know, what God intended.
Yeah,
We're supposed to be followers, and some of us have exalted ourselves so high. We gone beyond being followers. We trying to be Jesus.
man. Look,
Come on, man. I
I ain't
mean,
trying to be no. I ain't trying to be God or
right.
Jesus. I'm just trying to be me, and I'm trying to
That's
be the best me that I know that I can be, so that when my time come, you know, God can say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." I
that's
ain't
it.
man,
That's it, bro. That's it. All that other stuff, it ain't worth the time or the effort.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, you're and the fun, and I think that people look at go probably gonna say this again, and I may get kicked out of Christendom for what I'm about to say. That everything that critter is based upon some sort of status.
Titles and status, bro.
I don't, man. Look, I tell people all the time, and this is the person that I am. I will respect you as I will respect. First of all, I'll respect you as a human being because that's
Yes.
first and foremost.
First thing.
Period. But I'll also respect you as much to the limits of what your title commands.
Hmm.
And I'm like, and the people look at me like, what does that mean? It means exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
You're an apostle, you're a pastor, you're a prophetess, you're a prophet. I'm gonna give you respect as a human being first because that's a commandment. Respect where I'm gonna respect you as a human being, whether you're male or female. And then after that, then I'll give you the respect that your title commands. Whatever extent that is. Oh, you being disrespectful.
Oh,
What? Uh-huh.
right.
It goes back for me. It goes back to my military training. When you especially with me, you see an officer, somebody with bars and leaves and stuff like that. You salute them.
Right.
That because number one, they're an officer. They got those bars and those leaves for a reason. So
Exactly.
you salute them. I mean, now you being a prophet or you being a pastor, or you being okay, you got that. God gave you that for a reason. I'm still gonna salute you. Well, I mean that for as far as that's concerned, is that's pretty. I think that's that will be the extent of my respect. I mean, and it's not being disrespectful because I'm respecting you as a human being first.
Right. And if you do that, if you start there, it's not far to go.
Nah,
You know what
it
I
really
mean?
ain't.
Regarding titles and status, people, we do a whole good job at talking about how we should do people.
But do the
Uh,
exact opposite.
but right, but when it comes to actually doing it, we kind of fall short, which is which ironically is the measure that we're expected to, fall short, even biblically.
Yep,
However, the whole point is knowing that you have a propensity to fall short. You also have to respect the fact that correction is offered to you. There is a place where you can get guidance,
yep.
but you have to be open for correction, and that correction does not extend to disrespect or how people say being handled. It is
Exactly.
rebuke and correction is part of the walk. It's how you learn. But where people we misplace respect, especially coming on the downhill slope. It's where if you're a certain title or status, you treat people a certain way, and then you
Mhm.
do it in the name of that title or office that you hold. And that's another thing that needs to be corrected in the body of Christ.
Yeah,
Just because you're a leader does not mean you uh, can handle the layman in crazy ways. Because the whole point is this: who are you going to lead if you run everyone off?
exactly.
If you
Yourself?
hurt everybody, how effective is your leadership going to be if you have a pattern of hurting people and destroying people?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, and my thing is, if if you like that, then you're not gonna be my leader. I
exactly.
can. It's just something in me, you know, not even spiritually. It's just something in me practically that won't allow that. Because if I see how you handle people and how you treat people as a leader, I can't. You can't be my leader if you're gonna mishandle me. You can't be my leader if you're gonna mistreat me. You can't be my leader if you're gonna disrespect me. You can't be my leader if you're not going to. If you can't tell me you can't tell me the pure unadulterated truth and not be and not and without and not worry about whether or not I'm gonna be offended or not.
Exactly.
If you tell me that that's the one thing. If you, I can handle being told the truth. Just don't, just don't fabric. Just don't serve it to me in a cookie, man. If you got to serve it to me in a don't serve it to me in a sweet cookie. If you got to give
Right.
it to me in a fortune cookie
Come
or
on now.
or a lemon or a lime, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Because the
As
truth,
long as
because
long as it is what it is.
yeah, Wow, that's I mean, the funny thing about it is that we see so much we see so much at the see we see so much similar. Just that our viewpoints on it are slightly different, but the way we approach it is so similar.
yeah.
And I'm like, when you said Christendom, I'm like, oh yeah, we go get along because
Yeah, man. I just, and the thing is, there is not a lot of places where you could be free to say what you say, because you get struck down for being out, or the thing, you're not being decent and in order. And I question some of those methods in the way that they're presented, because you know you can tell me one thing, but you can't tell me that if you say something to me, and I'm not gonna just jump up and refute what you say and argue with you. I'm gonna go
right,
find out for myself. I'm gonna go pray. I'm gonna go study myself. Now you can't tell me that if God returns an answer to me that's different from what you are saying, that I'm wrong. At the same time, I can't tell you you're wrong, because God may have told you something like that. But I do understand that there is a time when God presents something to you so you can understand it, not
right,
so you can tell it to other people and try to make them adopt it.
yeah. And I
That's
think
where we start getting having a problem.
yeah, and I think the other thing is that we and I'll say that I've been guilty of this as well. Because I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and say if I'm gonna say this, then I may as well just speak the truth, is tell the truth and shame the devil with this. Because I've been guilty of just, I won't say making false accusations against people, but I've been guilty of, as a Christian man, prejudging people.
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
Coming too quick to judgment about somebody way too soon without getting to know that person, or without getting to even you know discern what his or her spirit is like.
Yeah. On the flip side of that too, discernment and the prophetic flow can give you certain things about people. Those things may be correct, but that may
Yeah,
not be all of it.
exactly.
If you move too quick to judge or to use that information to make an assessment, you'll be out of order. Sometimes just dead wrong.
Yep,
Dead wrong. God may be showing you something about somebody, not for you to correct them or to judge them on it, but to help them with it.
yep.
And we
And
miss it sometimes. We
man,
miss
and
it.
information is information is a great thing to have, but it's also a deadly weapon to use against somebody, because
Man.
information can be weaponized.
Oh, yes, it can. Yes, it can.
And just a simple fact of me even saying that particular phrase should make certain people just cower in fear, because who knows what kind of dirt somebody got on you that they could use to drop a bomb on you,
Yes, sir. Yes.
or they can fire one shot across your bow just to say, "Hey, look, I know some stuff. You might want
Right.
to not say that, but
Right.
I will sink your battleship."
Right.
I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
it's crazy, and I'm like, man, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because and again, this is not to say anything bad about anybody, because I will never talk bad about any leader in any office whatsoever. But the amount of information that we as believers and parishioners give to leaders, it's almost like you giving them. And again, this is not nothing bad. It's just something that I thought about. You give folks an arsenal to use against you, and then you have no defense
Right.
when they decide to, you know, load that information in the magazine and decide to fire it right back at you. And that's not I don't believe that's a bad thing in some cases. In some cases, you that can be used to kind of show somebody the error of their ways,
Hmm.
and that could get them to kind of think about it and do a 180.
Yeah.
So in most cases, I do believe it's done with how can I call this, with benevolent intent.
Yeah.
But then then you have some folks that use it for, well, we already know. I mean, I ain't gonna even put it out there,
Right.
because again, that'll get both of us kicked out of Christendom
Right. You're gonna get us
for,
kicked out.
just for saying stuff like that. And most of the what a lot of people don't understand, that a lot of what we're talking about is is going on in the body of Christ.
Hmm.
It's, I mean, I'm not a church boy. Never. I mean, I spent my younger days. I was in a church with, well, my younger days, I would go with my dad and my mom to my uncle's church out in Winston, Georgia. So I don't consider myself a church boy. I consider myself someone who is a is a son of the Father, and the Son of the Father and Jesus. And I don't consider myself to be someone who speaks Bible verses word by word and verse by verse. That's just not who I am. That's just not how I get down. Cause then if that ever happens, then I may well just jump in the pulpit.
Hey, but some all ministry is not for the pulpit, right? So I think that what you're doing is church. I think that you are doing ministry. Period.
Street prophet.
There, hey, that's fine. Like the great, you got to go out. Somebody got to get those
Yep.
because that's what we're supposed to be going after, the lost ones, not the
Yep.
ones who already know.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know?
Because there's way too many people that know, and not and well, I take it back. It's way too many people that don't know, as comparative to those that do know.
Right,
But the ones that know want to withhold knowledge. "Oh,
right.
I ain't trying to withhold nothing. If I can give it to you, I can give it to you."
Exactly. It ain't mine.
No.
Nothing in this life is mine.
Uh-uh. No, sir. Yeah, and what people don't understand is that your life ain't even yours.
Not even.
You on borrowed time.
Yes, sir.
Emphasis on the word borrowed.
Borrowed.
You ain't here to be for you and not here to be forever. You're here to be here for a set amount of time. And when God say, let's go,
Right. Ain't no. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
oh,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
you can kick, fuss, and scream and fight all you want to, but at the at the end, you going.
Yeah.
And I just don't. And people think that it's more of the learned than the learned. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
It's more people that don't know than it is the people that do know, and the people that do know, withhold knowledge. I mean, I'm not saying everybody does that, but there are people that do. I mean,
Well, it's a lot of people who know of, but not they don't really know. They have a lot of they have a lifetime of reference,
yeah.
but they don't have no relationship for it. I found in this pandemic, man, that people are realizing that they have been practicing what I call third person religion.
Ooh.
Cause check it out, without a legitimate relationship, you have been living off of the words and the prayers of your church, your
Uh.
leaders, and your teachers
Uh
for the
huh.
whole time. So now when the building is not there and you can't access that religious practice or those people who were pouring into you, you have to go and then either get it for yourself and gain your own relationship or go without.
Ooh. That, my friend, is a powerful thought process right there. It is, because, like I said, this pandemic has taught a lot of people a lot of things, especially when it comes to the assemblance of those in the name of Jesus, and it's like you said, a lot of people had you said third person religion. I was like, wow, and I think about it, and wow,
Yeah,
that's that is a an interesting perspective to put that in, because like I said, it's from the aspect of someone else. And now when it's time for them to manifest whatever power that poured into them, they can't do it.
right. Can't do it.
I mean, you trying to conjure up something, that you trying to, pray, you trying to pray, and you can't do it. I'm like,
Can't.
whoa.
And that
That's
proves right there that your relationship was not, you didn't have one.
nope.
So
And
you
like you
you
said, it's not about religion, it's about relationship. And people and ladies and gentlemen, and my brother here will more than likely, more than most definitely agree what I'm about to say. Relationship is way more important than the other are.
man, come on. Come on, bro.
Relationship is something that has to happen.
Yes.
If you don't have that relationship,
You don't have
then
nothing.
you're not it's not gonna be you're not gonna be able to thrive or anything like that. And a relationship takes there's an element of time,
Yes.
whether it's a marriage, whether it's a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a business relationship. It's this the same application applies with God and with G and with Christ.
Yes.
You gotta have there's a getting to know period. You
Hmm.
know, you're getting to know who God is to you, and God's getting to know who you are, even though He knows who you are.
Man, listen.
There's still a getting to know period. And then then there's the happy period where you everything is good, and then there's a low period and everything's bad. But that's the ebb and flow of a relationship.
That's it. The whole thing. And it comes the whole with the whole thing. You can't get just parts of it. It's the whole thing. I mean, you got
People
to learn the person's voice, the way that, man, let me tell you something.
how they
Okay,
talk to you,
right. And so, because it may seem crazy to someone looking in from the outside, but that's
right?
you guys' way. That's your relationship. And that's why it takes time and knowing the person. You have to know, and just even from a biblical standpoint, if God is your shepherd, you got to know His voice. Oh man, this is the reason. I don't know how many people don't know this, but um, shepherds don't lead from the front;
They leave from the
they lead
back.
from the back. That is why it's important to know the voice of the shepherd, because you cannot always look back. The time you take to look back could get you snatched away, could get you off track, could derail the whole herd.
Exactly.
So you got to know the voice so you can know which way to go correctly.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't get it.
Yep.
It takes relationship,
Woo.
period.
And the other thing I think people don't realize about why shepherds do lead from the back is because they can be much more vigilant.
Right. And you
They
can
can,
see what's being lost if you're the shepherd in the back. If anybody's going off track, you
yep,
can't see that if they're behind you.
exactly.
You can't
And you
see
have
your sheep going astray. You have to be in the back.
yep, and you gotta be able to have that 180-degree field of view, so you can
Yeah,
see what's going on to your left, to your right, and directly to your front. I mean, you can't do that from the back. What? How do you do that? You gonna consistently turn around every couple of minutes or so? By the time you turn around, someone else is lost.
right. Exactly. But everybody's so ready to get to the front and lead the charge.
I have, you know what? I have to be honest with you. I've had no desire to do that, and it's not because I don't want to, or do I not. Well, I won't even say that. I don't have a desire to do that. I don't have a want or a need to.
Right.
And they're like, well, why you just you know you have a podcast platform, you know you do this and you do that, and that's cool. But I have to, but and it's not, and I don't, that's not it's not a bad thing for me not to want to do that. People look
No,
at it as a bad thing, but I
nope.
say I have no desire to be at the front.
Nah.
It's
It's
not
not a
that I
bad
don't
thing.
want to. It's not that I don't. Not that I don't. Not that I don't want to. Not that I when not that I can't do it, because if I want to be in the front, I can. But what purpose does that serve to be at the forefront when it's way better to be at the rear?
Right. And plus, if that's your place, that's your place. Like I get it. I I will do whatever I need to do. My thing is to be prepared to be in the front
Exactly.
if you have to. But
Yeah.
that's not my desired position. Someone has to watch and pray.
And pray and watch.
Somebody. And so if everybody's so busy trying to lead, who's watching and praying?
And I like I said, I don't want to be a chief. I just let me be an Indian.
That's it. I'm good with it.
Let me
I'm
be
good.
let me be one of these braves. I don't want to be a chief. I have no desire to be a chief.
Uh,
I don't want that job title because I already know what that job title entitled, what that job title brings.
right, bro. It's
That's way too much drama. That's way too much trouble. That's way too much stress. I don't want nor need that in life. I mean, even though being an owner of this particular platform, I like, you know what? For one day, I just want to just not do not want to do CEO stuff. Period.
yeah,
No, for real. I just
yeah.
let me be a worker. Let me be a worker for a day.
Ah, hey, somebody got to do it, brother.
I know, man. I know. But I mean, the stuff that we're talking about, man, it brings about the importance of what you do as a word as someone who brings in the spirit and the spirit and the heart of God through worship and through song. So a lot of what you do, a lot of the things that you do as a true worshiper, as a true praiser, that those words that you sing from the heart, not from a piece of paper, not from something that you memorize. Those true words touch a person in a much more in a much have a touch a person in a much deeper way, and it has much a way more. I won't even say has a deeper connection because
Mhm.
when someone hears something from your heart and from your soul, and they feel it in their heart and their soul, and it reverberates there, and it stays there and it lives there for a while, it has impact.
Yeah, man. Listen, spirits discern the origin of your ministry,
Oh
of your
yes,
music. If it comes from a pure place, it'll reach the pure at heart.
oh
Yeah,
yes,
but
oh yes.
when you perform, it's great for the radio. But it may not change. It may not change any life or compel any mind or any heart. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I get that there are there's musical product that is for the radio.
Yep.
It's for entertainment. I try to make music for enterchangement.
Ooh,
Is what I'm shooting for. I'm not doing anything else. Uh,
interchangement.
it
Oh
don't have
my
to be
god.
perfect. It musically or none of that. I just need for it to convey that in which God said I should tell somebody.
Interchangement. Ooh, my. You know what? Mm, mm.
Bro,
Ooh, that right. That hit real hard. And when I say that hit hard, that hit like that hit like being hit. That's like being tackled by LT, bruh.
oof,
That's and we all know Lawrence Taylor can hit.
boy,
Ooh, my boy. Interchangement. Do you know how transformative that word is?
bro. I ain't never said or thought that in my whole life. Like right now is it. It's the same way my music is born.
That do you know
Being
how transformative that is? Do you know how much that could be how I'm trying to find the words. I'm trying to find the words.
bro,
I'm trying to find the words, but God is saying like, stay right, just stay right here for a second.
to God be the glory.
Interchangement. That is the only thing I can think about is transformative. When you when you speak words that have that nature and that nature and that truth to them, that man, I'm trying, but God said, don't go nowhere. Stay right there. I'm like, and I'm trying to find the words, Lord. I'm trying to find the words. I'm trying, but I can't. But nothing comes. I can't. Nothing comes to mind at this point. All I
Mhm.
can think of is transformative. That's the only powerful word I can think of. Interchangement. You know, it's and I keep saying that word because it's like the more I speak the word, the more I think about it. It's like I can see it's almost like I see a caterpillar turn into a butterfly.
Yes.
That
Yes,
that's
man.
the exact process that comes to my mind.
Wow. To
So you
God
turn
be
it
the
and
glory.
it's not talking about anything from ugly to pretty. It wouldn't, and I'm not talking about it from that
No.
aspect. I'm
Mm.
talking about the whole change process. When a caterpillar goes into that chrysalis, they're transforming into a whole different creature. Just like just like when we receive Christ as our Lord and Savior, we're transformed into a different creature.
Hey,
We're transformed
hey.
from the inside, and we're transformed. We may not be transformed from the outside, but we're transformed from the inside, so that our inward transformation projects outwardly to people,
Mm.
so they can transform themselves. Woo.
Man, it's heavy, man.
Man,
That's
heavy
heavy.
is not the word, bro. Heavy is not the word, man. Look, I want to get into this song. I want to get into this song because I was listening to this song though, like this song was on repeat at work, bro. I ain't gonna even lie.
Huh, wow.
This song was on repeat at work, and I kept listening to it. And I kept listening to every time I listened to it, I caught something different in it, and it wasn't just about voices or tone. It was just about what those words were speaking to me, and what they meant to me, and how. And it also just kind of put me in a vein to where I was, God brought me from a whole lot, losing a child, and then losing other members of my family, and then going through being divorced, and going through the emotions of that, and just hearing this song just kind of brought that you know a, just a piece about all of it, just
Wow.
God's way of saying, hey, everything, this is all this too shall pass, son.
Wow.
Just hold on a little while longer. I got you.
Wow. To
So
God be the
look,
glory.
I'm gonna let you introduce this song, bro, for real, and then we gonna get into it.
Okay. Okay. Well, well. Okay, the song is entitled Seek You. Okay. And the song came from a similar place, Fred. I was just pondering like what more is there? Uh and where can I get this thing that's going to set me on my purpose, and where can I start? And God simply said, you can only get it from me.
Mm, 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 mm.
So I said, okay, well, I'll seek you. I know you're not going to readily come to me, but I'll seek you. And he says, in your quest you will find.
Mm,
If you
mm.
seek me along the way, you get every answer, and then at the end you get me.
Exactly.
And that's
Oh
the
my
ultimate
God,
goal, man.
powerful, y'all. So my brother introduced this song eloquently, and but in order, the introduction only does half the job. Y'all got to listen to this song, y'all. It's so for the first time, for premiering here first
Yeah.
on Trailblazers Radio, my
Mm.
brother Dereck McCuller would seek you. You guys listen to this, you guys be moved, and you guys enjoy. And we'll be right back in just a few moments. Okay, don't go nowhere. Stay right here.
Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice, and be gracious to answer me as I seek you with my whole heart. Oh Lord, please don't let me stray. Now I know that all I need is you, Lord. It just seems to be the obvious obvious choice. I'm gonna seek you, 'cause I wanna see you. I'm gonna seek you, 'cause I wanna see you. Hear, oh Lord, when I cry with my voice, and be gracious to answer me. I've been trying to reach you, but it's so hard, so hard. But I know that all I need is you, Lord. It just seems to be the obvious choice. I'm gonna seek you, 'cause I wanna see you. I'm gonna seek you, 'cause I wanna see you. Whether I'm mountain high or valley low, till you crack that sky when the trumpets blow, I will seek your face. I will seek your face. Whether I'm mountain high or valley low, you crack that sky to the trumpets blow, I will seek your face. I will seek your face. Now I know that all I need is you, Lord. It just seems to be no other choice. I'm gonna seek you, 'cause I wanna see you.
I'm gonna seek you.
Seek you the rest of my day.
I wanna see you.
'Cause I just wanna see you. If you're with me, say yes. Can you help me say yes?
Lord, yes, Lord, yes.
I say yes to your will and yes to your way. Yes, with my life, it's not just what I say.
Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes.
Now I know that all I need is you, Lord. And for me there is no other choice. 'Cause I wanna see you, and you come.
I'm gonna seek
Seek you the rest of my life.
I wanna
See
see
you.
Ooh, man. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Seek You by my brother Dereck McCuller. Well, to me, that song is a true definition of enterchangement because there's so many levels to that, and I'm over here in awe of you know just the way that those words are just poured out just unapologetically and openly, like, God, here I am. I'm seeking your face. I'm seeking your voice. Here I am. No matter what I'm going through, I'm always going to seek you and find you. And you're gonna be my refuge and my rock
Yes, Lord.
through through whatever whatever I go through. That's, man, oh my goodness. Interchangement at its finest, y'all.
Wow.
Interchangement at its finest. I just let's just say this. That is that is on my phone currently, and that will continue to get constant airplay
Thank you, Lord.
on
Thank
my phone. And it is, oh my God, it is so refreshing to hear something like that. And you could tell when someone's saying something from the heart and from the soul, because it has such a deeper meaning and has such a deeper impact than just someone saying for entertainment purposes. And that right there, that right there goes to the deepest parts of my heart and my soul. And it
wow.
really speaks to
Thank you,
those
Lord. Thank you,
places
Lord.
that haven't been spoken to in a long time.
Woo, Jesus.
And that means a lot. And and that now that's not saying a lot. That's not only just saying a lot. That's me saying me. That's, first of all, it's not just me saying it, but it's also me feeling it. And it's been a long time. It's been a while since a song like that has reached down and just down to the deepest crevices of my heart and my soul, to those hard parts, those thorny parts, those parts that couldn't be pierced by nothing.
Wow.
So that's and that's a it means that, for me to say, I won't say for me to say that, but for anybody that listens to that song, I truly believe that when they listen to it and they understand the words that are the words that you're singing, that you're speaking are from the heart, it's gonna go down to those hard parts, those thorny parts, those parts that were never that nothing was able to pierce, and it's gonna pierce those parts, and it's gonna open up some things. Maybe it might open up a wound or two, but at the same time, it's also going to provide some healing. And I think
Wow.
those words like those, songs like those, are so very necessary right now. And first of all, I commend you for, you know, first of all, just the vocalization and the time it took for you to arrange this and everything like that. So I commend you for that. But I also thank God for the divine timing.
Yes, 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 man. Yes.
Everything happens in His time, and you obeyed, and you stayed the path, and this is the timing. This
Wow.
is the timing, and this is the time.
Yes, man. Hey,
So
man, listen. Oh, and let me please, please, before we leave, I gotta say thank you to my dear friend Apostle David Wingfield. That the music that you hear behind that, that's him, man. We were just um doing what we do, and that is the kind of spirit filled music that can be invoked when kindred spirits are together. And the
yes, indeed.
production, man, uh, Dwayne Kelly over at Sound Resort Studios, bro, under the tutelage of Tomeka Tiller and Traz Tiller, who Tamika also loaned her voice, her and my beautiful, wonderful wife, Teresa McCuller, to help me complete that sound that I needed, man. And thank God, man. And thank you, Fred, man, for just being you, for doing this, man. Not just for me, but just for doing it, dude. This is you are so necessary.
I
So
appreciate it, man.
necessary, bro.
I appreciate it. It's the me doing this isn't me doing this for people like you and so many other people that I've so many other wonderful people that I've come across during this this 4-year journey as a podcaster, and as a presenter. I don't I don't do these things. I don't do these things for my own benefit.
Jesus.
I don't do this for my own benefit. I do this because everybody that comes to this platform, whether they come on My Life as Destiny, or whether they listen to my friend, listen to Bobby when she talks about, her, when she opens up about her life and her experiences and the things that she talks about when it comes to relationships and everything else. you know I don't we don't do these things for our own benefit. We do them because there is somebody out there that needs to hear what we have to say.
Mhm.
There's somebody out there that needs to hear this song.
Jesus.
There's somebody out there that needs to hear those words, seek you. There's somebody out there that's going through something, and they don't know where to turn. They don't know where
Mhm.
to go. They don't know who to turn to. But when they hear if they hear this beautiful song, they will know that there's someone that they can turn to, and there's someone that they can readily and easily seek out. It don't take much, it don't take much just to say, God, I need you. And boom, right there in the midst of everything. He's gonna
Wow.
be there. It's that's it. I don't do this for my benefit. I do it for the people that I serve.
Mm.
You, and so many other people. You know, you and Traz and Tomeka and um, Morgan, who I interviewed last Wednesday. Um, so many people that I could name. You know, that I've talked to during this journey, this podcast journey. I mean, it would take up probably the rest of this podcast, right, honestly speaking. But I don't do it for me. I my personal satisfaction comes from watching people grow.
Mm.
I get personal satisfaction from watching people grow and develop and branch out beyond this platform. You know, this for some people this platform has been like a launch pad.
Wow.
For other people it's been kind of like other people it's been a springboard because they're already been established. For them this is just another way for them to spring a little higher. For
Wow.
other people it's been, you know, for other people it's been a grounding point. You know, they've been at a pinnacle of some place, and then now they want to just come to a particular point and just ground themselves. So I don't do it for I don't do it for fame, glory, recognition, you know, stuff like that. Those things are kind of like, for me, those things are, you know, window dressing. You know, that
Mm.
it's just something that makes it just something that makes the like a window treatment on a window. It
Yeah.
makes the window look good, but it's not. But it makes the window look good and it doesn't serve a purpose.
Right.
It just makes the window look good.
Window's still a window without the
Exactly.
dress. Yeah.
And I do it for, you know, to make sure that people are not, man. When you said that it was necessary, I mean, I have never thought about it in that instance, you know, because I felt that what I was doing was always helping people get to a particular plateau or a particular way, get to a particular plateau or get to a particular place. You know, when you said something like necessary, like
Well, Frey, you
I,
got to look at it like this, man. This is how I see it. If if you're trying to get to a place that's upstairs, if there's no first step, how do you
exactly,
get there?
exactly.
If you tell me the first step is not as important as the last step, then you be lying.
The first step is just important, and I'm
Some
like,
people won't make it to the top step if there is no first step. You know what happens if you look down and don't see a first step? You won't move. You'll be stuck. You'll be like,
yeah,
So in some instances, it's more important. The first step is always it's always important. It gets you where you're going. It's your start.
exactly. But I always tell people it's not where you started, but it's how you finish.
Right. It's that you finish.
Yeah. Oh, that you even that you do finish, and
Right.
that and if
It's
you don't have to. For me, it's not about finishing strong. It's just finishing.
finishing. You know what? The one thing about a finish, even if your finish is a fail, it's important because you know exactly what not to do the next time.
Yep. Exactly. And for me, failure is not failure is not the definition of it. It's a lesson
It's a
to learn
lesson.
to move forward.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
if I'm a fail, I'm gonna fail forward and not fail backwards.
That's it.
Man,
That's it.
look, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. I mean, then you mentioned Tamika and Traz. You know how, and we both know them. We know them lovingly as them damn Tillers,
Right.
and a lot, and they've been so influential on a lot of people. They've been through their artistry, through plays, and Tamika with her voice, with her song, and with her voice, and Traz, you know, with his, you know,
That pen.
wizardry on and playing instruments and stuff like that. I mean, how did that relationship come about?
Man, listen, I met Tamika and Traz years ago. We used to do this thing called Monday Night Prayer and Praise at a place called Anderson Diner that was in Stockbridge, Morrow at the time, Morrow, Georgia. Every Monday, these great people would open their restaurant to anybody who wanted to come in and feed everyone for free. And all we used to do, if you had a talent or a skill and a desire, they would give you the floor.
Wow.
And it started a dear friend of mine, Mr. Roger Gilbert, our Legacy Films, was doing was sponsoring it, and he brought the idea, and I was in full support. So I used to go just as a supporter, help him whatever he needed to do, and Tamika and Traz just blew my mind, man. The way they moved in all things. You, I saw something in them that was so valuable, man. It was what I call a good tension, where their creativities rubbed against each other. It created diamonds.
Right. Mm.
She wanted to do this, he wanted to do that, and it wasn't quite the same method, but they both had the same goal.
Right.
And it was reminiscent of their relationship.
Mm.
And so, man, I gleaned to them because of what I saw them being and doing. And over the years, man, we've had so many chances to interact. We just became good friends. We Tamika allowed us to, my wife and I, who is excellent singer. Y'all hear her one day. She's gonna do something one day. But yeah, she allowed us to sing with her, and man, they took me in when it was time for me to do the project. God said, find somebody you can trust to consult with you and kind of give you the ins and outs. So I went to them, man, and they were gracious enough, let me into their home, into their lives, man, and impart in me and physically walk me through the process
Mm.
of getting it done and done correctly, bro. And so I
Mm.
love them jokers, man.
Man, look.
Period. Period. I love them.
And I mean, and it's also it's led to you to like led to a lot of like appearances as a vocalist on Traz's project,
Yes.
a couple of songs on Traz's project. With I mean, all I'm gonna say is that Shotgun Wedding was oh my gosh.
Listen, Traz Tiller is a freaking genius.
I will agree with you on that one.
Tamika Tiller is a superwoman.
Agree with you
I
on that
I
one.
publicly have asked her, "What can't you do?" and do well. You understand what I'm saying? So, man, those people are tremendous, and they're about to be game changers in the world. Their ministry in that marketplace is huge. The impact they're having on lives left and right, bro, it's not going to be parallel.
Nah, it
It's
ain't.
not. I mean, so
And
like I said, man, I love them, love them, love them, love them.
man, it was
Everything they're doing, I want a part of it. As a matter of
oh
fact, listen, Traz did allow me to do a song with him. He doesn't know how liberating it was for me, because what I was struggling with was, as my prowess as a writer, songwriter is growing, people have been calling upon me to do music, and I
mm,
struggled with religion telling me that I shouldn't go into other genres and
come
participate.
on now.
And Traz allowed me a safe place to do a secular, or not so much gospel songs, and it freed me, because God said, "Did I strike you down? You did it. Did I?" So all that
I mean,
criticism and
and
stuff, it wasn't me. That box they were putting you in, that wasn't me. That I didn't provide that box.
no, because
So if it liberated me. So I thank you, Trash, for that. And they have an upcoming play that I stepped out of the box, because I said that whatever they were doing, I wanted to be supportive of it.
right,
So I stepped out of the box, and just on a blind whim, I went to an audition, and I got a part in one of the plays that's upcoming.
man.
So
See,
hey, bro, they have been instrumental in my growth.
they're game changers for sure. I
Oh
mean,
man.
them those two are game changers for sure. I mean, it was evident when me and Monica went to and we saw y'all there. We went to her Tamika's one woman show. That's
Oh my God,
it's first of all, it's evident to see Traz's writing in that, and then also see Tameka do to just act that thing out, bro. Come on.
bro, that was unreal. That was unreal.
That wouldn't be the word I would use for it. I mean, because I think what I would say would just, I mean, Unreal just kind of just doesn't even give it the proper respect, honestly speaking, to the magnitude of who they are as people.
I agree.
And
I agree.
and then just and like I said, just for them to kind of just to take you, take you with them, teach you, and show you some things, and take you under the wings and say, hey, let, let, let me show you how this is did. Let me show you how to be comfortable in your own skin. And then let me let me pull you, let me take you here. And for them to kind of for them to give you that chance to pull yourself out of a proverbial box, which
Yes.
which God didn't even lock you in,
Right.
made a difference. It really made a difference because it allowed you to say, well, wait a minute. I can do this and not get punished for it.
Right.
I mean, that's what and I'm like you. I struggle with the religion thing sometimes because I'm a writer, I'm an author. I write stuff that has like well the and I'm gonna say this now because I know some people may say this they won't hear this but they'll hear it from me now. So I'm writing a second book of poetry and it's gonna be a lot more grittier than the first one. And a lot of people that know some people that know me know that a lot of what I write has a slight edge to it. And the first two books that I put out, a lot of Christians looked at it as if it was tainted
Mm.
because I'm a Christian man writing about because I'm a I don't mean like I said I consider myself a Christian but I also don't but I also consider myself a human being. That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
So I do have and I'm with you. I have my flaws. I have my idiosyncrasies. I have my things that make me who I am. So I should look. There are times I cuss like a sailor. Doesn't make me no less of a child of God. And
Amen.
I write about stuff that has an edge to it. I wrote a book about domestic violence, had an edge to it. I wrote a book about mental health, had an edge to it. I just published a book of poetry in January, chronicling I won't even say chronicling my life, but looking at my life from a different perspective. That had an edge to it. A lot of people looked at that and like, you shouldn't be writing that as a Christian. Why not?
It's happening, and that's part of the problem. We talking
Why
about a lot of
not?
stuff.
Domestic violence happens all the time. Y'all just decide to dedicate a whole month to it. It happens 24/7, 365.
Right.
Mental health happens 24/7, 365.
Certainly.
You know, me writing about a lot of things that I've been through from a kid to an adult and bad, good, indifferent. These are things that people think about and go through on a daily basis. And why not? So for them to pull you in and then tell you, hey, look, God ain't put you in that box, right? You know, you
Right.
other people have put you there because that's where they want to keep you. That's where they want to. That's where they want to. And the simple fact of the matter is, and this is kind of a hard but true type thing. Most Christians do keep you in a box because they want to keep you under. They want to keep you under their leadership. They want to keep you under whatever they're teaching, and that's. I won't say that it's not cool, but I will say that it's wrong.
Yes. Simply, it is wrong.
You teach people and you let them go.
Exactly.
You don't hold them under. You let them rise.
Yeah.
A lot of people Now, for me, I don't mind being submerged and stretched.
Mm,
When I know it's God doing the submerging and stretching.
right.
I have no issue with that. I will never have an issue with that. What I do take issue with in some instances is where, again, not all leaders, just some, not all. Some leaders
Mhm.
will submerge you and stretch you, but then they won't let you go.
Right.
They won't let you go to, to continue that stretching process or to continue that submersion process or whatever other process it takes for you to to grow as a person. Because
Exactly.
I truly believe that to truly grow as a Christian, you have to grow as a person too. You know, you have to be able
Yes.
to learn who you are as a person, and that way you are able to understand your personal relationship with God.
That's it. That's it. Sir, I don't know if you don't think you preaching, but I just wanted to remind you that you are. Just go ahead and let you know that right now.
Thanks,
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate
A leader that promotes growth is important. Like I love my pastor, Apostle Franco Schampert, Millennium Nation.
servant leader.
She is so transparent and honest. What I appreciate most about her is that she met us where we were and cultivated us.
Mm,
And she is just instrumental in knowing when to move, when to back off. I thank God for her. Uh,
a servant
a
leader.
servant leader, the true servant leader. Yes, yes, sir. Indeed.
You know what I love those kind of leaders. I really do, because those leaders don't mind serving. And
Never.
really, that's honestly that's what leadership is. It's service. It's some servitude.
Man, come on.
Everybody wants to lead because they revel in teaching people things. But in order to teach, you got to be taught.
Come on, brother. Come on.
You can't teach nobody if you ain't been taught nothing,
Mm.
and you can't lead if you haven't been led.
Oh, come on, preacher. Come on.
Leaders were followers first.
For a long time.
Yeah,
For a
you
long time.
think
And then sometimes in some bad situations.
exactly.
But leaders, followers nonetheless.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
You think people like Steve Jobs or I mean, and I'm just using these guys as a reference. You think Steve Jobs or Elon Musk got where they are by just by being leaders 24/7, 365? No,
Uh,
they had to follow first.
Had to be subservient to somebody and something at some point.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
sir.
To me, the true characteristics of a true leader meaning they followed somebody first.
Hmm.
Not they follow somebody. They sat at they either sat at the person that they admires feet, knees, whatever, and took in knowledge,
Right.
cultivated that knowledge, cultivated that knowledge, applied it to their own lives, and now they want to take what they were taught and they want to apply that knowledge, the knowledge that they were taught, and give it to somebody else and allow. And man, leaders lead, but they have to be led first.
Mm.
If you're a leader and you tell me that you ain't never been taught or never been led by somebody, then to me, I will, man, I'll avoid you like the
Scary.
plague.
Yeah, I don't want it.
I'll avoid you like the plague because whatever you teaching, because whatever you selling, I ain't buying.
Right. How can you substantiate it?
You can't.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was never taught by anybody. I was self taught.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
If I wanted to, go on self-talk and use my own experience. Now I
exactly.
don't need that.
I could have used Google or I could have used Google or YouTube or something like that. I mean,
Ooh.
and not to say that nothing's wrong with being self taught. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, no, no. God will give you some things. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but in order to get the rest of it there, you have to be put in some place to where you are able to be taught.
Hmm.
And I'm a strong believer of that because I mean I'm not where I am without being taught by somebody.
Exactly.
I'm not where I am without being malleable like clay, being able to be shaped and molded, and then broken down and then being shaped again.
Exactly.
You have to, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm gonna say this, and I have to say this because for me it's true. You have to be able to be. You have to be malleable.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to be able to be shaped and molded, and then broken down and then shaped and molded again. It's a repetitive process.
Right.
But it only gets you to what your final form is. Or and sometimes that's not even the final form. You're broken
Wow.
down again and made into something different. I wouldn't be where I am without, just like like Traz and Mika took you up under their wing, and they they mentored you. It's the same for me. I wouldn't be where I am without mentors. And I have several. There's several people that pour into me and speak to me, but also as them being mentors to me, I also try to pour into them and speak into them too, because what they're giving to me is is valuable. And so many times, as and I'm gonna say this, and it may sound a little funny, but to me it's true. Sometimes, as leaders also need to be poured back into as well.
Oh, definitely.
A good
Oh my
leader, a good
God.
leader needs a good leader gives of themselves, but they also need to be
All that they have, they give it
yeah,
all.
but they also need to be replenished,
Yes.
just like anybody else. Leaders get exhausted. They get tired. They get worn out. They get beat down
Right.
because
I
they
mean, they live the life just like us.
exactly.
They are human people.
Yeah.
They need what they give, and most often people give of themselves what they need back. You know, and
Yeah.
so you got somebody pouring into you. Come on, take a little time. At least pray for them.
Oh,
You know,
bro.
some folks will rather put their mouths on the leader than pray for them.
Yeah. And for me, I'd rather pray for you.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, I know you poured into me. The very least thing I can do is pray for you.
Very least.
That's the very least thing I can do for you is pray for you. And if I mean, and for some people, for a lot of leaders, that's enough.
Exactly. That's all they require.
Yeah, because it's about sincerity of heart, about not not what you're trying to extract out of a person.
Right.
What if what good is extracting something out of a person if you're not going to put it to use, or if you're not going to take that knowledge and run with it and pass it on to the next person? And that's the one thing that I do want to ask you about, bro, because we've touched on it a little bit, but for you, and I've asked so I almost and I've asked a lot of people this question, and I get differing answers because everybody looks at the word a little differently, and
Mhm.
the word I'm talking about is legacy. And everybody gives me differing answers, and it's not a bad thing, because it's only based on what they are, where they are at their moment, where they are in that moment, and what they want to leave behind when they leave this plane of existence. So, what does Dereck McCuller want to leave behind for, whether it's something for whether you want to leave something behind for children, for your kids, grandchildren, or just something for people to hold on to and to latch on to? What is the legacy that Dereck McCuller wants to leave behind?
Man, that's a heavy question. Listen, I have 7 grandkids, so
Oh, I'm
um,
just getting started. I only got three.
yeah, my one son, man, married and with a lot of children. But
Ooh.
anywho, man, my whole purpose of life, man, I want to leave a legacy of hope.
Ooh.
And it's not tied up into any measure of earthly success, bro.
Oh
I
man.
would like to leave a treasure, a earthly treasure to my grandkids and their kids' kids, as the word commands.
Right.
But I understand something about um, wealth that's different. You know, we talk about the wealth transfer
Right,
happening now and being a biblical from a biblical standpoint.
right.
What we don't cover is the currency of wealth. And I think that with an ever-changing God, what will manifest as the currency of wealth is not necessarily money or possessions, that is actually
Mm.
favor.
Oh.
Because there's so much more that you can obtain and do with favor that you can't do with a dollar bill.
Oh man, you better say that. You better say that, bruh. You
You
better
know,
say that.
s- and think about how powerful it is when you as a believer, a known believer, live a life that shows that favor put you in places you should not have been, gave you things that you did not earn or deserve. You
Ooh-wee.
understand what I'm saying? How good is that for God? Because it's when
Ooh-wee.
it's clear that God did it.
Oh.
So you serve the whole purpose of being here to exalt Him and
Mm-hmm.
not you.
Mm-hmm.
In that, man, there's nothing but hope.
Yep. Because at the end
Nothing
of the
but
day,
hope.
because at the end of the day, it's not about us,
Not at all.
man. Whew. That is so powerful, bro. I mean, that's why I said you guys, you better say that again, bro. Because that, I mean, you just really just defined really what I believe is the true definition of what legacy is. Because it's not about you mentioned it's not about earthly possessions. It's about favor. It's about your life being a living testimony to somebody. No better word spoken from that, man. I swear, no better word spoken from that. And I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal that. I am
Have it
going to
all,
steal
man.
that
It's God,
because
man. It's all God.
because oh my gosh, all I can say is that, man, this particular conversation is probably one of the, if not the best conversation I've had with a guest. I've had great conversations with the guests I've had. But this conversation far and wide, right at this moment takes the number one spot
Wow.
because
Wow.
such a just but first of all, it's just you're a genuine guy. And the only thing that you want to do is you want to use your voice to worship God and be able to you want to pull people in, but that one word, enterchangement, that is what you consider, that's what you consider yourself at. You're an interchanger,
Mm.
not an entertainer, an interchanger. and
Yes,
that
Lord.
and that meant to and that is a transformative word. And that is also your this song is a transformative experience
Wow.
in and of itself. I mean, like I said, out of all the conversations that I've had, and like I said, if I've had a lot, this one right here is this one takes the cake
Wow.
because it's an honest I mean, all the conversations I've had have been honest and true and very meaningful. But this one, when I say this one takes the cake for me, because not only the words that you've spoken and not only the words that we've talked about and we've spoken to have impacted me greatly, but also the words through your song, through your word, through worship and your song impacted me even more.
Wow. To God
You
be
know,
the glory, man.
because
Jesus.
of me, and to be impacted like in that manner says a lot to who you are as a person and as a
Wow.
man of God. And I most definitely commend you on the journey that you're taking, not only as a worshiper, but also as someone who uses uses the vehicle of song and music to worship and bring into truly worship and bring in the spirit of God through song. And I think that's where the transformative process will begin with a lot of people. And I think once they hear this song, my goodness, that's why, man.
Mm.
So I can say so many positive things to you and about you and for you, but I would run out of words.
Whoa, wow, bro.
I would literally run out of words.
Wow,
And that, again, that speaks a lot to your character, to who you are, and it speaks a lot to who you are as a man, also not only as a black man, but also as a man of God, bro. That says
wow,
a lot. That speaks so many volumes.
wow,
And the funny part, the funny and the sad part of it is, and I'm not saying this to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but it's unfortunately it's true. The sad part about it is that only few people will get to hear that.
hmm,
But I I believe with everything in me. I believe with everything in me that, and I feel and I'm so convicted in what I'm about to say, because I keep hearing it, and I keep hearing God say this to me. I That is going to change.
wow,
There's going to be more than just two or three people be affected and impacted by this song, or by your words, or even or even by or even by this podcast.
wow,
I mean, I believe, and the reason I say I believe is because number one, it happened to me when I listened to the song.
wow, wow.
I truly
Jesus,
believe that this song is perfect for this time,
thank you, Jesus.
and for this time and this dispensation. It is so perfect. There are way too many people. This pandemic has wreaked so much havoc. It
Mm.
is it has taken away the morale of people. It has taken away the will. Sometimes it's taken away the will of people. It is taking it, and at times it is and it is mostly taking the lives of people. Whether
Jesus,
it's whether that pandemic runs its course through people, or people get so burnt out mentally from just going through the everyday things of mass mandates and vaccinations and unvax and all this other ridiculous BS that goes on. So this pandemic has taken a lot from people, whether it's physically, whether it's taking away family members, whether it's taking away, you know, peace of mind for people, whether it's put people in a fearful state.
man,
Not to mention everything else that's going down and that's going on.
right,
Still you still deal with you know still dealing with racism. You're still dealing with police brutality. You're still dealing with you know classism, and you're still dealing with you know, black men, black women relationships, and how distant and how far apart they are. And then you have a war that, I won't even say a war, it's a conflict that's going on. And that looks like there's no end in sight.
right,
So there's a lot of things that's happened to a lot of people, and people are trying to find solace. People are trying to find solutions. People are trying to find answers. People are trying to find comfort.
man,
People are trying to find somewhere to get a breathing room.
yeah, yeah. Some semblance of hope,
Yeah,
man.
and
I got a song that's coming. Uh, and bro, I wish I could sing it, just a verse for you. It's everything you just said, man. It's the name of the song is called "It's Working,"
shoot us hey,
and I
floor is
haven't
yours, man.
finished it, but just the lyrics alone, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give you a piece of it. The song says, "In times like these, with everything that could go wrong, it has.
mm,
All the suffering has people questioning if this too shall pass.
mm, mm,
We're
mm,
fighting for our faith. On his promises we stand. He's the author and the finisher who has the whole world in his hands. And things may not look so good right now. There
mm,
are ups and there are downs. It's
mm, mm,
all gonna storm, the storm will pass. It's all gonna turn around, 'cause it's working.
mm,
And
mm,
so,
mm.
bro,
Look,
that's what's on my heart right now in this time. That's why that's the next song that's coming.
yes, sir. Let me tell, and we both agree that it's. I do believe that it's kind of this particular song right here. This first one you got coming right now, and then the second one is coming. Boy, timing.
It's everything.
I
Yes.
believe. I believe. First of all, I believe in two things: divine connections and divine timing.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
divine connections have put me in front of a lot of people and put me in front of others. So many great people and great thing and great causes. Divine timing, however,
Mm.
does more than put you in front of just people, great people and great causes. It puts you in a space to be a change agent.
Yes.
And this song, the timing for this song could not come at a better time because again, this pandemic has, and not in addition to the pandemic, there's so many other things that sit on top of that.
Yeah.
And this is in the right time. This is the right space. This is the right time. This is the right moment. This is the right dispensation for this. And I truly believe that with every fiber of my being and all my heart that this is the right moment for this. And it's gonna impact lives. It's gonna impact lives.
Jesus.
You know, it may take a moment for those lives to be impacted, but it's gonna happen. And all of a
Yes.
sudden it's gonna be like a mud like a mudslide of people that's gonna be impacted, and it's gonna be like wow.
Wow.
And that's something I'm looking so forward to. I'm looking forward to
Yes.
seeing people's lives being impacted by this this song and these words. But not only that, but I'm also looking forward to seeing God move in those people through those words.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, I ain't, I'm not the I'm not the Christian that people think I am, and I don't profess to be that. But like I said, but I know, but I do know, but one thing I know for sure that I do believe in God, and I do believe that there is a God,
Yes.
and I do believe that I do believe that Christ did die for our sin, die for our transgressions. So I
Yes,
do,
Lord.
so I believe those two things, and I do also believe that God can help make a way out of no way,
Hmm.
and and that he and that he's the author and finisher of our lives, and that you know one day soon all this will come to pass.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to seeing those lives be changed by these words, by the words that you were carefully given to, that God so carefully gave to you.
Hmm.
So first of all, so carefully and so lovingly gave to you.
Yes, Lord.
Man, my God, my
Whew.
God, my
You got
God.
me excited, bro.
You
Man.
not the bro, you not the only one excited right now. Man,
Whew.
I'm looking forward to this, man. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be powerful. If and if Tameka Tiller is looking forward to this, you already know what it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It goes without saying.
Yeah.
It goes without saying. But bro, before we conclude, man, I gotta give you this time right now to give yourself a shameless plug to tell everybody who you are, where they can find you. Um, you know, and also, let people know what else you got going on, and where and what and if they and if you have any appearances where they can find you at. But hey, the floor is yours right now. I'm gonna let you got this shameless plug come. You got this shameless plug, bro.
Listen, you can find me on Instagram um, under my pen name. It's D. Ready Writer, as a reference to Psalm 45. Because I don't give myself any songs. God gives me every song. You can find me on Facebook, same place, D Ready Writer. Ready, READY, Writer, WRYTER. Look behind me, guys. You'll see on the board my tag, label, and lifestyle. It says Big Life. There's a Y in the middle, there's a cross in the middle. My life says that life is so different without the I if you replace it with the Y. So and so yeah, I'm not currently booked to perform anywhere currently. Working on some things. I do have an EP and an album coming. Plenty of material, God willing, will be coming to you guys soon. But get this single, please. April 1st, and this is not no April Fools. April 1, we will release this song on all digital platforms. Seek You by D Ready Writer. I love y'all, and I thank y'all in advance. Fred Beatty, you are the bomb, bro.
Man.
Love, love, love.
Don't get me the blushing over here,
Bro,
bruh.
you are dope. You are
I
dope.
I try to be, man. I try to be, but I mean, it's it's guests like you that make all this happen, bro. It really, the the honor goes to you guys.
Wow.
Goes to guests like you. You know, you guys, you guests like you make this possible. Not just the list, not only just the listeners and the fan and our followers, but it's guests like you make this possible. So I mean, you know, first and foremost, I tip my hat to you for just taking the time out of you taking the time out your schedule to come to do this, and you honor me with your presence, bro, and that is something I will always be ever so cognizant and ever so aware of, because you know you didn't have to do it, but you chose to, and I honor that.
I
That
thank you, man.
I can never I can never pay you for the time that you've given, to me. But the only way that in the way only way I know how to repay the time that you've given is to continually push your message out there,
I thank you, man. I thank you.
bro. It's when I tell you it's all love, it's all love. And anytime you want to come, you ain't anytime you and your beautiful wife want to come back and share some stuff with us, by all means, just y'all come on, and hey, the door, I will leave the door open for you.
Well, I'm gonna take you up on that offer, bro. I got a lot coming, so
For
I'm
sure,
coming.
man. Just hey, holler at me and let me know, man. When you want to bring your wife aboard, then when you bring your wife in front of the camera, cool, we can do that, boss. I mean,
Okay.
hey, the door. When I say the door is open to you, the door is truly open to you. You know, and it's a lot of people that I say that to, but there are a few people that I say that to that actually have that particular type of access.
Okay.
If I tell someone that the door is open, that means come on in. Just the only thing that I require is at least a couple of weeks advance notice,
Exactly.
so I can prepare. But the door is truly open to you and your wife, bro. Whenever y'all want to come aboard. I mean, I told that to Traz and Mika, man. Look, y'all tell me when y'all want to walk in the house. The table already set for y'all. Y'all just tell me when y'all want to walk in.
Wow.
It's it's li- but see, it's like that with people that are genuine,
Yes.
and they don't come around, they don't walk into anything assuming that they the best thing since sliced bread, because if you were the best thing since sliced bread, you wouldn't be coming here. You be
Mhm.
going, you trying to get on, the morning, you be trying to get on the morning show with Charlamagne the God and Angela Yee and DJ Envy. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to do. But if you thought, but if I'm one of them type of dudes that I try not to. I try not to bring in folks that are like, you know, that higher. I try not to, but at the same time, if I know that you kind of up there, I mean, I will most definitely give folks respect. But
Mhm.
for me, it's all about relationship. It's all about you know being around similarly minded people. You know,
Yeah.
you and Traz and Mika and and Aaron and other people that they've exposed me to are similarly minded people.
Yeah.
They all have a singular goal. They all have a singular place they want to be. They all have a somewhere they all want to aspire to something. And that's what makes it great. But yo, man, I know I've taken enough of your time. First of all, I appreciate you for taking the time to kick it with me for now 2 hours and 25 seconds. I appreciate the time, man. I am most respectful of that, and I don't take that part of it lightly. I appreciate that, and most definitely, bro. I love you with the love of Christ, man.
Right back at you, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Anything you need, anytime, just let me know, Doc. I got you.
I
I
might,
got you.
hey, just like you said, I might have to take you up on that, but I
Hey,
mean,
come on. Hey, let's do it.
got you. Let's work. Let's do it, man. But yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, first and foremost, I want to tell you guys, first and foremost, that this brother right here, powerful brother, y'all, powerful brother, Mr. Dereck McCuller, his song "Seek You." Look, it's gonna be available April 1st, all streaming platforms. Please, I implore you to go get it. It's a life changing song. It is a powerful song that will speak to the innermost parts of you,
Wow.
and it will most definitely touch those parts to where you thought nothing could ever pierce,
Wow.
and it will pierce those parts of you. Look, go check him out, man. He's a phenomenal singer, songwriter, studio vocalist, and a publisher. Man, look, and on top of that, a really down to earth dude. What more can you ask for, guys? But yo, I ain't gonna say nothing else. I want you guys to go on every streaming platform. April 1st, Seek You will be available. Please do me a solid and support this man by downloading this and listening to it. I cannot stress to you guys enough about us as creatives. We as creatives, we do some of us, a lot of us do this for the love of what we do and not for the pay.
Exactly.
Because if we were doing it for pay, then be a whole different thing.
Mm,
But we
yeah.
do this for the love of our craft, but for the ability to change, the ability that craft gives us to change lives, to be change agents, to be builders, to be the light that somebody needs in a dark time. So please, I implore you, once April 1st hits and Seek You is available, please go cop that on all streaming platforms. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. It is a powerful and it is a great song. It is also a very powerful song. You will not be disappointed. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this episode of Trailblazers. I am your host, Mr. Frederick Beatty, and the gentleman that I have interviewed and had a wonderful conversation with is Mr. Dereck McCuller, songwriter extraordinaire, vocalist extraordinaire, producer, writer. Oh my goodness, I can say a lot of things about this young man right here, but hey, we've already talked about it, and the words speak for themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this version of Trailblazers. And again, as I always like to leave you guys with, well, before we even do that, I want you guys to continue to follow us on our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We have a podcast website, a Patreon page will be coming soon. I know I said it a few shows, but there's been a couple of glitches with some things. So, but I'm working those out. The Patreon page should be up and available soon. I promise you guys, once that comes up, I will give you guys deets as it comes available. Um, Also, man, continue to follow Miss Quint Jones, Miss Coco Fenton, Miss Barbara Melvin. Those are three beautiful hosts that I have here on this particular platform, and they don't work for me or under me. They are aligned with me. So we all work. So we work in concert to make sure that we give you guys great content. My Life Has Destiny podcast airs on Mondays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Takeover with Bobby airs on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Author's Alley with myself airs on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As also we may also do a pop-up show maybe on a Wednesday, on a Wednesday or something, like a Wednesday or a Saturday or something like that. But we'll make sure that we let you guys know what what those are and what that is. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so very much for tuning into Trailblazers with me, your host Frederick Beatty, and as I like to leave you guys with the three things that I like to leave you guys with is: number one, love on each other; number two, be good to each other; and number three, we know it's a crazy world out here, so please, 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 I implore you guys to stay safe. And with that being said, I'm gonna take you guys home with a teaser video. And I've been waiting to do this the whole
Yeah.
show. Not only premiere my brother, not only premiere my brother's song, my brother Derek's song, but also premiere this wonderful video of I can't I let's put it like this. I'm gonna let y'all see the video. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all see the video, and then we're gonna take it home with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take it home with this video teaser of the upcoming Television Productions movie, Cry Wolf. Check out this teaser. Y'all enjoy it. And on that note, I'm gonna bid y'all good night, and y'all have a great, safe, wonderful weekend.
Peace.
The Lupin Society is worldwide. There's nowhere you can run, and there's nowhere you can hide. The lands will run red with the blood of everyone you love.
Be careful out there. There's a serial killer on the loose.